love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining.
He's still very unwell, but he's not in the hospital. I'm seeing him every day for hours, which is really nice.
If you bring those societies into our country and then give them unlimited free welfare, what do we think is going to happen? You're going to replicate the conditions that they left.
She leaves Somalia. She comes here, marries her brother, commits immigration fraud, gets elected to Congress, and suddenly is worth $30 million.
I got a big show for you today. I got Trump being Trump and telling you exactly how he feels about Ilhan Omar. We got Stephen Miller on immigrants and their effects on our country. You got Jordan Peterson, an update on his health. He was fighting for his life. He has been fighting for his life, and his daughter has now just given us an update. We have the U.S. military seizing an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and we have a virtue signaling Democratic senator telling us what we should be doing with our military. Let's get started.
I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little the little turban. I love her. She comes in, does nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing, they have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
There's nothing worse than immigrants that come to our country and do nothing but complain about our country. Even worse are the ones that come here and burn our flags. And I don't think Ilhan Omar has burned our flags, but she's openly going after white men in our country. She goes all over the news and talks against white men, literally. She wants to change our country to make it more like the country she came from. So what's she doing here? And another thing, shouldn't people in Congress be born here? Why do we have people leading our country, making decisions when they're not born here? They come from other countries like Somalia, which in this case is a dump. Donald Trump is right. Take a look at Somalia on the map. Do a search on your phone, and you'll see what I mean. The place is completely corrupt. You can even Google it. You can put it in ChatGPT. Somalia is a corrupt nation. She comes from that. And you're going to like what Jesse has to say. Check this out.
So the Somalis are the real victims.
Yes.
So her father was a colonel in this Islamist, communist Somali regime that the UN accused of committing war crimes and disgusting human atrocities. She leaves Somalia. She comes here, marries her brother, commits immigration fraud, gets elected to Congress, and suddenly is worth $30 million. So everybody in her little Somali community, all of a sudden, not all of them, but a bunch,
most of them,
steal $1 billion from American taxpayers. And then they buy nice cars and they fund her campaign, and then they get caught. And she says, no one's more upset about the fraud than us Somalis. Right. And that we're the real victims. Meanwhile, a lot of these people are on food stamps. They don't have a high school education. They can barely speak English. And all Stephen Miller says is you got to assimilate and you can't be a public charge. And she calls him a Nazi. And he's Jewish. She can't even get that right.
Somalians go from ripping us off from overseas in their country to coming here and doing it on our land. And when they get caught, when people like Stephen Miller call them out, they call him a Nazi. It's out of control. She comes over here, Ilhan Omar, and ends up within 5 years being worth $30 million. And actually went from, I think it was like 100K in 1 year to the very next year, $30 million. While all of those Somalians are committing fraud upwards over $1 billion. This is not racist to call it out. He's not a Nazi for calling it out. It just blows my mind why and how we put up with this. And speaking of immigrants, here's Stephen Miller giving us the truth about immigration.
There are people all over the world that are great people, but you look at the society. If Libya keeps failing, if the Central African Republic keeps failing, if Somalia keeps failing, right? If these societies all over the world continue to fail, you have to ask yourself, if you bring those societies into our country and then give them unlimited free welfare, what do we think is going to happen? You're going to replicate the conditions that they left over and over and over again. And we mask the impact of immigration in every public policy issue we discuss. We talk about test scores. Well, if you subtract immigration out of test scores, all of a sudden our test scores skyrocket. If you subtract immigration out of healthcare, all of a sudden we don't have nearly the size of the healthcare challenges our country faces. If you subtract immigration out of public safety, all of a sudden we don't have violent crime in so many of our cities. Issue after issue, we talk about these things as they just happen to us. The schools just suddenly fail. Violent crime just suddenly explodes. The deficit just suddenly skyrockets. These are a result of social policy choices that we made through immigration.
Again, it's not racist to call out the truth, to discuss this, to talk about reality. It's not racist. And I think we should be able to be selective about who we let into our country. We should be able to look at these numbers and say, hey, look, this makes sense and this doesn't make sense, and we'll do more of this and less of that. We have the right to do that. It's our country. You're selective of who you let in your house, right? And I think we should be the same with our country. This next video is Jordan Peterson's daughter, who is giving us a much needed update on his health. Poor guy, he's been fighting for his life in the hospital, and we're glad to finally get an update. Here, let's check it out.
Hey guys, brief update on my dad, because I know a lot of you have reached out and asked and have been waiting for one, as have we, obviously. I don't have a lot to say because everything's been slow. He's still very unwell, but he's not in the hospital. I'm seeing him every day for hours, which is really nice. We're working with great specialists and giving him more time to recover. I'm hopeful he will recover with time. When I posted the last video, I didn't know if he would recover at all. It was really scary, and I'm hopeful now, but it's still early on and he's still quite unwell, and we're still really not sure what's going on, whether it's an immune system issue, neurological, both. So I wanted to give an update that was like, things are really bad, but they're not as bad as they were a month ago or 2 months ago. As for me, I haven't really been online, or at least posting, because the situation's stressful and sad, and I don't really want to get on a camera and pretend everything's okay. So I've basically been offline really since last February with the pregnancy. Then Audrey, my 7-month-old now, getting incredibly sick, then dad getting sick. Audrey, on the other hand, is doing really well. Praise God for that. We still aren't sure what happened. Like, she almost died from a heart issue, even though her heart is normal. She was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary hypertension, and that seems to have been a one-off freak incident that hasn't repeated. So, like I said, praise God for that. Jury's still out if there's a long-term problem that they just can't find. I'll probably be paranoid about it until she's 20. But so far, at least that's under control.
Man, I'm really glad to hear that Jordan Peterson is no longer actually fighting for his life in the hospital. He's home now. Hopefully he gets better. Really, rooting for him, and glad her daughter's doing great now. But I got to tell you guys, Jordan Peterson was a huge influence for me, and I'm sure for a lot of you guys too. Hopefully you guys are thinking about him, and we'll stay up to date with him, and hopefully he recovers. He's just a phenomenal human being, and very much love Jordan Peterson. Hopefully he gets better. And now I have a video of the actual military seizure of an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. right, guys. So there you have it. That's actually our U.S. military going at it, going after them. And this was an oil tanker that was seized because it was violating sanctions. It was a tanker going from Venezuela to Iran, and that's a big no-no. You're not allowed to do that, and we're putting a stop to that. And here now is a Democrat senator virtue signaling and trying to tell us how to run the military.
Including our largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, and its strike group. It includes amphibious assault vehicles, and guided missile cruisers, and destroyers, and a submarine. The deployment includes fighter jets, surveillance drones, patrol planes, many of which are based in nearby Puerto Rico, where the U.S. has reopened an old naval base for this operation. The force includes gunships and helicopters and bombers. Military buildups like this take on momentum of their own. Wars are easy to start, but they are hard to end, and the consequences are often devastating. Look at the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Together, more than 7,000 American service members gave their lives.
I love it when Democrats want to come and tell Donald Trump how to run the military and how to run the country, when the dude is literally stopping wars, ending wars. And they have been, for the last 10 plus years, starting more wars than ever. Obama went nuts. And then these guys have the guts to come out and tell us about wars. Actually, everything that we're doing right now militarily is strategic. And it's the right thing to do. These guys want to continue fear-mongering, but that's not the case. This is a show by force, and we're putting an end to things. We're stopping things before they get out of control. Thank you for watching the show. If you haven't seen my live streams, I live stream almost every morning and evening. It's a really fun stream. You'd enjoy it. So check that out. And if you haven't already, subscribe and like this video, drop a comment. Really appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.